Alright guys, so today we'll do question 3, we'll do isometric question, so it's question 3 from 2008. Question 3 from 2008, so the isometric question. So question 3, there's always a or B. We'll do B, which is the isometric projection, okay? So you've got this little bus shelter, got two semicircles on top, and then you can see they're actually two each. So there's one on the base, one I think it's 15 millimeters up from it. It's another semicircle, and then there's the two here, top and bottom. Alright, so apart from that, I think we have two sections. So remember I was saying that you kind of break it into two sections, or 2, 3 or 4, sometimes even 5. So you can see here we've got a base piece. There's two clear parts of this. There's a base piece and the bit on top there, the kind of shelter part. So we call the base and the shelter, we call that, okay? So we'll start off anyway by drawing the base piece. I think that'll be the easiest thing, but before we do anything, we have to set up our isometric scale, okay? So the isometric scale is your 45 degree line, where you're going to put the actual measurements. Then you're going to get your scale on your 30 degree line. Alright. Okay, so we'll put all the measurements and we'll stick in what we can see while anyway on this one. So if I just make sure. Zero. So I can see from the drawing here I have 10, 10, I have 15, I need an 80, I need a 130, I need there's a radius of 30. So I need 30, which means it's diameter of 60. And I have a diameter of 80, which means I need a radius of 40 as well. Now, I caught that. If you were looking at the question, you might not. You can always stick it in after and put it on there. There's no problem adding these after. Okay, right, so you project straight down from your 45 degree line onto your 30 degree line, which gives you the scaled version of the measurements. So I'll project them all down. Okay. And you can be going over and back with a compass there, but the handiest thing is get them on. I use the trammel that we used yesterday, the sheet from the trammel. Just get them on a piece of paper for yourself, just to make it handier. So there's my 0. Then I have 10, 15, 30, 40, 60, 80, and 130. And if I need any after, I can add them up. Okay, so there's my scale transferred onto that. We can go from there. Alright, there's my 45 degree set again, but it's actually appropriate enough because that's the last I need of that 45 degree set square. From here on in, this is what I need, my 60 degree set square. Alright, so first of all anyway, I'll set up my crow's foot. So I'm going to have a look at the 3D version they give me, and that's the orientation I will do for mine. So you can see here, the front corner here, this front corner here is going to be the part sticking out. So my crow's foot is going to be on that corner there. So I'll start it. It's going to be going long that way, so I'll start it. Actually, that's fine. Okay, fine. So just a light 30 degree line. 30 degree line going that way. And then vertical line going up like that. Okay, so there's my crow's foot there. So along that, I'm going to put the box, the dimensions for the box that has to fit this base. So it's 130 by 80 by 15 high. So I'd stick them on. Don't forget to use the isometric scale, guys. So 130 there by 80 by 15 high. Alright. So, remember I did this in class, so I'll do it here. I'll break them into different colours for us. So we'll go for the base. We'll do the base as yellow. Alright, so we'll use a yellow marker here. So all 30 degree lines and vertical lines. Okay, so just make the box that this is going into yellow. There we go. No, you don't have to do this, lads. I just want you to be able to see, you know, I just want you to get used to the fact that you're splitting it into sections, and that's how you're going to do it. Okay, so within the confines of this yellow box, that's where the base of this bus shelter is going to go. Alright? So I'm forgetting about everything else, and when I'm doing the shelter part of it, I'm going to forget about the yellow box, everything inside the yellow box, alright? But I'm just going to concentrate on this for now and get what I need into it. Okay, so the big part here is going to be the curve up the top. So the top, it comes up along here and curves around here like that. Now I won't need all of the curve because the shelter part is going to block what's going on behind. But sure, look, I'll figure out what I need anyway. So I said this to you before. The circle is a bit of it's a difficult shape. It's one of the more complex shapes in technical graphics, but strangely enough, it's the easiest one to draw because all you need is compass and whip it around. Alright? So when you start messing around with a circle and moving it orientating it different, you see how difficult it is. So if I need a semicircle up here, obviously I can't draw it in isometric with a compass. So I'm going to have to draw it off to the side. What it would look like. So what it would look like if I was looking straight down top of it would be a radius of, this is 80, so it's going to be a radius of 40, and remember, it's an isometric scale, don't get caught. So I'm going to mark off 40 on that, and I'm going to draw the circle that I need to place in that top section of that box. So there we have it there. So there's that curve, isometric scale 40. Okay, now I'm actually going to draw a line, and I'm going to put the actual top of the box in it, the yellow top of the box, just to show you. Okay, right. So just extend that a bit more. Okay, alright. And I extend it down just to show that the rest of it was the rest of the box, alright? So that's kind of the yellow box in there, is the yellow box in isometric we see there. So I can't find within here where that curve is going to go, so I'm going to have to use some coordinates, and what I have in the box to work with are the lines that are already on it, which are these lines on the edges. So I'm going to divide my circumference, not the circle, I'm dividing the circumference into 30/60. So I'm going to use the top. Generally, when you're using a curve, you only need 1/4 of it, because you can use transformation geometry to get the rest, or just use it from the other side. So I'm dividing the circle into this point, this point, this point, and this point. Okay, and I'm going to find their corresponding, where the points hit the edges of the boxes. So if I go horizontal across there, I have this point here, and I have this point here, and I go vertical also from the points. There, that. Okay. So if I call the top corner of the box 0, well, I've got 1, 2, 3 in there, and I've got 1, 2, 3 going down there. Alright, so from the corner of the box, 1, 2, 3 down the side, and 1, 2, 3 in. Okay, so, and the semicircle is perfectly symmetrical, so I can come in 1, 2 from there as well, and 3 will be the same, and I can come up 3, 2, 1 from there on the side as well, because they're going to be the same corresponding points, because them points here are perfectly symmetrical the other side. Okay, so I take the measurements. So I go down the sides first. So 0 to 1. There's 1. Okay. 0 to 2 down the sides. There's 2. And I get 3 down the bottom, which is going to be on the line itself. So that's going to be a point. So 3 down the bottom. There we go. There. Okay. So there's down the side. Then I get the ones going along the top. So I go in 1. And look, while I'm at it, I'll do it from the other side. Remember, it's symmetrical. So I'm same from the other corner. There's 1. Even though I actually don't think I don't need it, but I will put it in there. 2. 2 from the other corner. And then 3 is going to be right in the middle. And 3 is going to be a point as well. So it's going to be the top of that curve. Okay. So I'll label these. I'll do it with a pencil. Just I don't know if mess around. Oh no. Do it with the pencil. So I got. Just do it here. So I got 0, 1, 2, 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. And I could go 2, 1, 0 there as well if I wanted to. Okay. So the one line is going horizontal. So it's 2, it's going horizontal. And I can put 3 horizontal as well, just get the point at the other side. So this is actually that's actually a point. And then 2 is going vertical. Oh, sorry, like that. So 2. Oh, sorry, 1, 2, and then 3 is a point. I'll do the same from the other side. I'll just draw them down. I'll figure it out after. Okay, so 1 went across until it hit the line coming down from 2. So 1 goes across and it hits the line going down from 2, and that gives me a point there. So that's a point. Then 2 went across until it hit the line. Hit the line coming down from 1. So there's a point there. And the 2 trees are both points already. There are already points on the curve. And I'll just get the corresponding one across. So 2 would be here, and 1, and then 3 down there. So I can get that coming up. I'm going to do it very lightly while that's because, as you can see from that, I actually don't know how much for that I need. Carve around like that, and I put heavy H line afterwards. I won't need that particular curve, no hard to show you. Alright, I'll just come down 3 here just to get the centre of the circle as well. So there's going to be the centre of that circle, and the reason why I need that is I need to draw a horizontal line across there. So I'll show you here now. So there's going to be a curve coming around the bottom here like that, but that curve is obviously going to disappear behind that. So I need to figure out, right, how much of the curve do I need? So if you draw a horizontal line across there like that, where it hits your curve, that's going to be the last point you'll see. So I'll show you what I mean. I'll project straight down. So the bottom curve is repeating with 15 millimeters below. So I'm going to use the same points, 15 millimeters below, and I'm going to use that point that I got there, 15 millimeters below, because I don't need two. Two won't be seen underneath. The one for 2 is going to go in behind. So the horizontal line across gives me that point there. Mark down my 15s. There's 15 there. Down 15 from here. There we go. So now I've got my corresponding points underneath like that. And that's the last one I need before it disappears behind it. Alright? And I'll put that in H there, because I know I'm going to need that bottom part of the curve anyway. Okay. I won't draw the rest for a while. So there is I'm drawing just these lines here. Okay, so that's in H. So obviously lads, my 2H is a HB, so your lines will be way lighter than that. I'm only doing it so you can see it in the video. So now we've got that base part set up. Next thing I need to concentrate on is the shelter. So I have the outline of the base, I have everything I will need from that base. It'll come around there, but I know the shelter part is going to be blocking it, so I'll concentrate on the shelter now. So the shelter is in, where's my shelter? So the shelter part I can see is in 10 from all the edges. The bottom kind of the rectangular part of it at the base of it is in 10 from the edges. So I'm going to mark in that 10. 10 here, 10 here. Okay, and the length of it is 80. That should be, what am I after doing here? Oh, sorry, it's right. Okay, it's 80 up from here. So yeah, it's going to be 80 up from here. Okay, so I'm drawing just that horizontal line across just to give me the base of it, and it's in 10 from both sides. Okay, and then we're going to have a little radius in here, but that radius is up 30. Instead of it being 40, it's 30. So look, I'll use that. I can use the same centre, the concentric circle, same centres. So I'll find that up there. So that's kind of the top of that box, even though it's from the curve. It goes into, so I'll just draw that across there. Right, and I'll just draw it in pink so you can see what I'm talking about. There. So now I have the rectangle base that the bus shelter is going to. Remember, I'm forgetting about the yellow part now. Okay? Alright, the height of that bus shelter, the shelter part of it, is 80. So I'll draw that up like that, and I'll put in my 80 in there. So this is the box that the second part is going into. Up 80. Right, up 80. Okay, and then put in the top of that box. Okay, so there's the box that that's the box that the shelter part is going in. And look, I can actually draw this in HRD because that part is staying. So I can draw that in H. So that's kind of the bottom part of it. Draw this part in H just to show you. So this end of the box is staying. And I can draw that in because I know how much of that I need now, so that's where it disappears. Right, so with that much. Now up the top we have a curve going on, don't we? So that curve, remember, or that semicircle is a radius of 30 this time. So we're going to draw another one. I could use that, but look, it's going to be on top of it. So I could put 30 inside there, but I'll just do it out of the way, just to avoid confusion. Alright, so I put it out there. I'll put my radius of 30 on it. Yeah, sorry. So I'll put my radius of 30 on this here, and I'll repeat the step I did a while ago. 30 in there. I will so here like that. Draw my semicircle. Okay, and I'll draw my box around it. So there, drawing me the pink box there. So there's the pink box there. Okay, so that box there, I'm going to have to put that curve from that pink kind of top of the rectangle there. I'm going to have to transfer it over here. So I could do it down the bottom here. There's nothing wrong with doing it down the bottom, because they're both the same curve. But I'll do it on top just because it's out of the way of all these lines. Alright, so same thing again. I'm going to divide my circumference into 30/60. So, pencil. Draw that out. I'll use 1/4 of it again and just transfer it from the other corner. Okay, so there I have my points along the circumference. There, 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 that'll do me, and this one here up the top. Okay, transfer them over onto the edges, so onto the lines I have. Over, over, go up, and up. Okay, right, I'm going to do that. 0, I'll stick to the labelling ahead. 2, 3. You could call them 4 and 5 as well to kind of, you know, make sure you're not getting confused with 2 1s or whatever. I'm going to do it this way if you want to. And 3 in the middle. Alright, so I get my compass. And I start marking down. So 0 is going to be the corner here. So I'm going to mark off 1. There's distance to 1. 1. Alright. As well, lads, with a compass, there was a few in the Christmas test. Just if you're marking something off the compass, you don't have to go to town on the arc, but just make sure it's visible. Just to make sure that you can get the marks for it. There's 3 down the bottom. Okay. So there's my kind of horizontal lines. And I'll do so into 1, into 2, into 3 from 0, but I'm going to do the same from the other side. Remember, it's perfectly symmetrical, so from 0 to 1 here will be 0 to 1 here if I was to have the point on this side. So I can go 0 to 1 along the top of it. Oh, there we go. Right. 0 to 1, so I'll mark that in here. 0 to 1, 0 to 2, stay at that. 0 to 2. Sorry, back to 0 to 1. Forgot to do 0 to 1 from the other side as well. So I mark that distance the same on the other side. 0 to 2, I do the same from the other side as well. 0 to 2 on the other side. That. Okay, and then give the middle point as well, 0 to 3, just here. There we go. Alright, so I'll label these again. So we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, and I can go 2, 1, 0 there as well for the symmetry. Okay, so we draw our horizontal lines going across. So 3 goes across to there. 2 goes there. Okay, so there I have my horizontal line going across the 1, and if I go down from 2, where that hits that line, gives me the point on the curve. So there we have it there. I go down from 1, where it hits the line going across at 2, gives me the point on the curve, and then the 2 trees are on the curve. I'll do the same the other side, so that will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 2. So I go down to 1, down to 1, and 1 goes down to 2, and then 0 is the corner. So then I end up with my points along the top. Do I need all of them? I do need all of them. So I need my points along the top. There, so from the curve. Just draw one. This is an awkward enough one. There we go. So there's our curve. Now fill in underneath it there. So that whole top is staying on it. Otherwise we get wet underneath it. Okay. Alright. Then the last thing to do, remember I'll get my center of the curve that's there. I'll draw my horizontal line. I figure out the last point I need, which is going to be there. Right, so there's the point that I'm going to need. And the last thing to do is get the same curve below, so I can just transfer all these down. So 3, I already have the edge of the box, so 3 is on. 2 is here, so I just go longer than what I need. And I get this point here as well, the one at the end, the last one I see. Down here. I need the inside. There's 2, there's 3, there's the point on the other side, so there's that point to the other side, there's that point here, so longer than what I need, and then this fella, I might transfer it now. Okay, so that curve, you can see it there, it's like it's a flashlight shining down and shining all the points that I need onto the base. The other thing is I don't have where they stop, but I do know that that curve is going to be this distance down from the top, down here. So if the curve is going to be that distance, 80 in isometric, but if it's going to be that distance, then all the points in the curve are going to be that distance. So I take my compass and I just mark off that distance. Makes it way handier for me. And I already have this because this is on the edge of the box below. So I have this point here. I mark off 2, which is here. There's 2. I mark this point here. So dotted lines on my track. I'm actually, as I go, just there's that point here. The top point at the top. on that line. It's also on the box, I forgot that, so it's on there at the top of the box as well. This one here, track that down below. There's that one there. Here, it's there. And this one here is going to be on the edge of the box, so I'm going to end up with the same curve below. Like, I'm going to draw it in lightly a while. Okay, right, so I have the same curve down below. Now I just have to figure out how much of it I need. So you can see here that it gets closed off from 3. So, sorry, I'm just looking at it here. I can see it gets closed off here, lying straight down from 3, or from where the curve starts, we'll say. So that line there is going to be needed. And then all of this is covered over. So I'm going to need this point out here, the one I drew horizontally across. So that's where, we'll say the generator is going down along the top of that. That's the last generator I'd see on the left hand side in my isometric drawing. So, projecting straight down there. Up below. Not so much of that I will need. Okay, then this is all open inside here. So I will see that's going to cover the front part, and then I'll see the kind of base curve or the bottom curve as it comes out, as I can't see any more of that. So I'll draw one H line. Get that there. There we go. And then that line will go down along until it gets covered by the end of it. And now I can see how much of the first curve I drew that I need. So that's where it gets cut off there. So I'm just drawing in 1H curve. That's how it's really. And there is, that's it. Alright, so remember that was isometric scale. Remember this part here. You can do the colours if you want. I wouldn't insist on it, but maybe if you want to do one or two just to kind of get it clear in your head. So isometric scale and the curves, and break it into small parts or parts that you can put into boxes. Just makes it way easier for you. Right, lads, will you get that done, please?